9440. 4405. 944405.
All right, welcome back, crime fighters. It is time for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping us lock up the bad guys. I'm Chris Wright, along with John Garlick, Chief Deputy of Calhoun County Sheriff's Office.
Hey,
good
Chris.
to see you, John.
Good to see you. Good to see everybody out there.
Yeah, it's good to see the work that they've been doing as well. We're getting some really good results from our.
We really are. Let's just jump right to it. 6 people brought to justice last week, bringing our count to 4,107.
All right, so
that's a lot of people.
Over that 4,100 mark and climbing, and looking forward to number 5,000 here in the not too distant future.
You used to bake a cake when we make these landmark things.
I didn't bake the cake. Oh. Somebody made a cake.
Well, somebody did.
It's been a while since
out.
At 5,000, we need a cake.
We need a cake. We need volunteers to make a cake.
All right, let's talk for a second about preventing yourself from becoming a victim.
Sure.
Because I don't want to make any excuses for people who commit criminal acts, but at the same time, a lot of times we help make the decision about whether or not we become a victim, don't we? And I'm talking about breaking and entering of vehicles.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's certain things you can do to secure your property and make yourself, harden your target, if you will, and make yourself a little bit more secure. And one of those is in the vehicle you have parked in your driveway. We've had several vehicles, we say broken into, but they didn't break anything. They go through the neighborhood and they check the door handles, and if the door opens, they look around your car and they look in all your glove compartments and all under your seats. And if you've left something of value in your car and you left your car unlocked, they're going to get it. They're going to take it.
And if you think, well, I live in a good neighborhood, that won't happen here, well, they're thinking, hey, you live in a good neighborhood, you probably got good stuff.
Yeah, and so that's what they do. They just roam the neighborhoods and just try door handles. So, lock your car, take all your valuables out of your car, and also be a good neighbor. Pay attention to what's going on in your neighborhood. If you see people walking up and down the street that aren't there, they don't live there, or you see strange cars driving slowly up and down your street, give us a call. We'll send somebody out, and maybe we can catch somebody before they do it or catch them right after they do it. Your neighbor's probably asleep. Most of the time, they don't know until they get up to go to work in the morning. They open their car and, gosh, I'm missing my purse, or I'm missing that stereo system I brought to give my brother, So.
That's one of the things that we always lock our doors, but then we sometimes wonder, did we actually do it? So we'll go out there to the window and click and make sure it's locked, because I don't want to make it easy for them.
Make the effort to check that stuff and double check it. It's really important.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up in our lineup this week, Daniel Wood. Mr. Wood, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for probation violation on receiving stolen property. Third. And take a look at Rolando Caver. Mr. Caver, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to pay on obstruction of justice by using a false ID. And take a look at Cody Fritz. Mr. Fritz, last known to be living in Weaver, he's wanted for failure to pay on domestic violence. Third, harassment. And meet Alan Hughes. Mr. Hughes, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for use and possession of drug paraphernalia, failure to report to probation. And this is Joshua Reeves. Mr. Reeves, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to pay on assault. Third. And last up for the first half of our lineup, Quashonda Thompson. Miss Thompson, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for failure to pay on forgery. Second. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
That's about half the bad guys. We've got some more we'll show you here in just a few minutes, won't we, John?
We will, because we have the other half of them.
Yeah, and then we'll have the Crime Stopper segment in a little while. We'll talk about some unsolved crimes that we need some help with.
And then my favorite part.
What's that?
The crazy criminal.
Oh, yeah. Love the crazy criminal.
It's annoying.
But right now, let's welcome our guest onto the show, Shane Ruffin with the Calhoun County YMCA. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you guys for having me.
You should be doing well. The YMCA, you should be healthy.
I am. I am.
Good.
I am.
should say that I met my wife at the YMCA in Anniston. So
Really?
yeah.
When was that?
That was about 14 years ago now.
And they're working out together, or?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Mike Monroe met his wife his parents met at the Y when it was on Wilmer, and then he met his wife at the Y also. So we've got several.
The
matches-
YMCA, where
matches
healthy
made.
singles meet.
Yeah.
So you stopped going to the Y after you met your wife?
Yeah, I mean, once you get married, why bother anymore? You know, it's all done, right?
It was-
It's
but
like,
that's clear to me. I
That's
mean,
a membership growth opportunity. I mean, if you don't need Tinder, come on in the Y and meet your wife and
That's right.
get healthy and
Yeah,
support a
man.
local cause. I like it. I
That's
like
great.
We did actually, you know, life gets busy, and we haven't been, obviously, I haven't been working out for a while, but I understand that things are a little bit different at the YMCA in Anniston from the last time I was in there, and we've got some more changes, even bigger changes as far as the Oxford.
You need to step in and have a cup of coffee. You probably wouldn't recognize the place. It hadn't had a facelift since at least the early 90s, and it just wasn't laid out for business. You know, we're such a relationship-oriented business, and you walked in, you had to sort of look around for the staff. They were off to the right, just a lot of wasted space. And we've got a charitable trust that Charlie Hamilton left us when he passed, and it's just a blessing. And so we get a lot of kickback from that each year, and it's got to be spent on capital things, not operational. So it really funds the operation. So we took some of those monies and redid the whole downtown Y. The basketball court's completely redone. It hadn't been sanded down to the new wood and refinished in about 30 years, and it just looks beautiful. We had to put a roof on that first, otherwise you're going to ruin the new floor. If it rains in there, and hadn't had a new roof in about 30 years. So we put a new roof on it, and it's been through 2 hurricanes and 2 snowstorms, and not a drop yet. So we're excited about it. The whole lobby has been completely reconfigured. We built a membership office. When you come in the Y, there's going to be a sensitive conversation about what you're trying to accomplish. Lose some weight, lower your cholesterol, meet a lady, whatever that might be. So we want to have that conversation in a membership office, sort of off to the side, similar to a bank. You don't want to come in and start talking about your finances in the middle of the lobby. So we sit down with you and really find out how we can help you. You know, and we do that every day. So we reconfigured that whole lobby. It looks like Starbucks in there. We've got hardwood floors and metal and glass and plastic, different kinds of elements in the construction. So it turned out really, really neat.
Do you still have the colored lines that take you to wherever you're trying to go?
That was #1 on my abolishment list.
No!
Yes, yes. I
When I was a kid, that was the only way I could find the pool.
I do want some little. They make little feet that you can get made to stick on the floor every 10 feet or so, not the whole line, and say, hey, the pool's this way, but we'd rather hold your hand and give you a hug and take you through the Y and say, here's where the pool is, not find it on your own. But a lot of people are reminiscent of those lines and keep looking for them every day when they come in, but now it's all covered up with hardwood, so.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Of course, the YMCA serves a huge purpose. It's not just about going in there and getting your exercise either.
I appreciate you recognizing that. A lot of people think we're just a swimming gym because that's a big piece of our business. But a bigger piece or bigger pieces that we do are in youth development. And we do a big business and after school programming. We've got 8 sites all over the county where we take care of about 325 kids every day after school who need a safe place to be between the school bell and the 5 o'clock whistle. Critical time. As you well know, being in law enforcement, that's when kids have an opportunity to mess up. So we're there at our 8 partner schools, 3 Anniston City schools and 5 in the county where we're on site, and we try to hire as many school staff as possible to come in and work with us. If not, then we go to JSU and try to get early education students who can come in and work with our kids. So we're there the whole afternoon, snack, homework, lots of PE. We believe, we're the Y, we believe in getting kids active. So by the time you pick your kid up at 5:30 or 6, they're fed, watered, worn out, homework's done, and you can just pick them up and take them home. And it takes a big burden off the family. Simply put, if parents can't work, particularly single parents, they can't provide for their families. So we're there with a very low cost alternative. It's $35 a week, $6 a day. You can't get a teenager to watch your kid.
No.
You can't get a teenager to watch their iPhone for $10 an hour, much less your child. So we really believe in that program. So that's one of our big flagship mission programs that we provide the community.
That's awesome. I raised my kids on my own, and I had to have an after-school program for them, and it was offered as part of the school. I don't think it was a Y program. It was offered out at Golden Springs School. So what schools is that
We're at
in?
Golden Springs now.
Are you?
We're at Golden Springs, 10th Street and Cobb. Those are the Anniston City schools that we work with. And Darren Douthat's just an awesome partner, and we work together on that program. He subsidizes his kids just a little bit more than the rest so that the parents don't have any issue And that's what's important is even if the $35 a week is expensive, we subsidize that. So if a single mom comes in or a working family and they've got multiple kids and let's say it will be $70 for 2 kids and they can't swing that, we're there for them. We go out in the community every year. In fact, we just launched our campaign last Wednesday. We go out in the community each year and raised about $250,000 to make sure that everybody has access to the Y. The Y programs, memberships, anything they want to be involved in. The only way you can't be a member of the Y or be in our programs is if you just don't want to. We make it affordable for everybody.
Absolutely.
And we're super proud of that.
We've got more to talk about. We need to take a quick break, and so we will come back in just a few minutes, talk more with Shane. We'll also have the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Jemiah Hall. Jemiah, last known to be living in Anniston, wanted for failure to appear on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And meet Brandon Winningham. Mr. Winningham, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for probation revocation on assault third. And this is Cecil Duncan. Mr. Duncan, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to pay on selling cigarettes to a minor. And meet Tiffany Champion. Miss Champion, last known to be living in Oxford. She's wanted for failure to appear on obstruction of justice by using a false ID. And here is David Hodge. Mr. Hodge, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for permitting dogs to run at large. And last up in our lineup this week, Michael Pearson. Mr. Pearson, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. That's it for our lineup this week. If you know the whereabouts of these folks, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers. That number, 256-238-1414.
Well, the Crime Stoppers segment coming up in a few minutes. Talk about some unsolved property crimes and our crazy criminal of the week as well. But right now we got Shane Ruffin from the YMCA, Calhoun County. Shane, we've been talking about the Anniston location of the YMCA and all the great things that have been happening there, but the focus right now is kind of shifting to Oxford, isn't it?
It is. We're making some changes at our Oxford Y. We've been in our current building for about 10 years now, and it was always designed, conceived to be sort of a placeholder for a future Y, hence the name, the Oxford Y for now. And so that was back in 2007, 2008, before we had the Great Recession. And at that time, the board and the CEO that was on staff felt like they could go out in the community and raise enough money to build a new Y. And that's just simply not the case today. And it may not have been true then. It costs anywhere between $8 to $10 million on the low end to build a Y from the ground up, and that's what people don't realize is how expensive it is. You know, to have all your mission centers, your pools, your basketball gyms, all the things you need to really have a full facility branch, it's expensive. So those resources just aren't out there. So that's kind of the history of the Oxford Y and how it got there. Our business at Oxford is primarily group fitness classes. We have some of the best classes in the county, some of which are proprietary to the YMCA. No one else can offer them within a certain radius because they're built for us. And Ann Angel, who runs our Oxford YMCA, does an amazing job. Everybody in town knows Ann. She's built a great lineup of classes where we'll have 25 to 35 people in every class. And they rush in at 4:30 for a class, 35 strong, and rush out. And what we don't see is what we need to see in terms of usage throughout the whole day. So we're scaling back a little bit, and we're maintaining what we're good at, which is those classes. We're going to take some of the savings from not being open 16 hours a day and reinvest those in some other classes because that's our stronghold. The board and staff, myself included, you know, we know how important it is to have a presence in Oxford. It's just expensive. We've been subsidizing that operation, and we just can't afford to do it anymore. It's just not the business model that's going to keep the Y here another 75 years. We've been in Calhoun County almost 75 years, so we'll celebrate that in 2020. So in order to tighten up our business model and to be able to be good stewards of our limited resources and keep the mission alive, we're really going to focus on that. So the new move over to Seals Golf is going to consolidate that quite a bit. We've got just as much group fitness space, and we're able to maintain some cardio equipment. So we're still going to have treadmills and elliptical machines and arc trainers and all the torture devices that members know and love. And we will still have some selectorized weight equipments, the whole line of them, from abs to arms to legs, all the stuff we have now. A little bit smaller, a little bit less hours, but still there for the peak hours. And we monitor usage, revenues, and member satisfaction reports. So we haven't been making our members as happy as we could have been at that space. So we're going to step back a little bit, and this Seals Golf Building is a great location. Calvin's a great guy to work with. Going to lease it for the first year and see how the concept goes. But there's land there. The building's built well, and we're excited about it. So we're in the construction phase right now, the remodel phase right now. Sure. So we're optimistic and excited about what that's going to look like when we're finished.
So what are some of the proprietary classes you talked about?
Some of the proprietary classes, there's a group out of Atlanta called MOSA, and they work with our national office to develop programs for us, and they've got 10 modules, and the one that we have right now is called Strength Train Together. And it's a class where you go in and there are benches and barbells and everything you need for this class. So you get in where you fit in. You could go in and put 50-pound weights on yours, or
500 pounds weights on mine.
500 on Chris's, 25 on mine, 15 pounds on the 78-year-old lady who's still. So it's just a beautiful mixed bag of people that go in there and take those classes, and it'll wear you out. It's 50 minutes of nothing but weights. Low weights, high rep, and it'll get your heart rate up, and it'll get your muscles growing, and it's cool. So they have 10 different modules. So we're looking at some other ones that we can implement with some of the savings. One we're looking at, which you would probably appreciate, is Defend Together. It's a self-defense class geared towards women, but it's pretty cool. So you're getting a workout and learning to defend yourself at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So those are the ones that are proprietary to us, and then we do all the other stuff that you would expect: the spin classes. And things like that, group fitness classes, aerobic classes. Do a lot with seniors. We've got 600 seniors on the books that are involved in Silver Sneakers, which is an insurance product. The insurance companies have figured out that a Y-Pass is cheaper than a bypass. So they buy these seniors who qualify a Y membership. So each time they come in and scan, we get paid for that, and then we offer classes for them. So we have one of those. We have them at downtown and at Oxford. I'm officed downtown, so I see most of that action. But we'll have 45 to 46 folks in there every day, and it's really cool to see them up and mobile and staying active.
Yeah, we talk about insurance companies, and they don't want to spend money on anything. They never want to give us any money. If the insurance company is spending money to help us stay healthy, that's a good investment.
It's smart.
You can count on it.
It's smart.
Yeah.
They figured it out, and so they encourage it. We encourage it. We love the program. So it works well. We've got a lot of folks, and that group, most of them are retired, and they really built some camaraderie. In fact, I fired up the grill a few months ago for them out in front of the downtown Y and just cook some burgers and hang out. I mean, they contribute to our campaign. They're a big piece of the Y's mission, so we appreciate those guys.
Man, that is awesome.
It is.
All right. Well, we're about to run out of time, but if folks want to find out more about the YMCA and what it may have specifically for them, what's the best way to get in touch?
We'd love you to come in. That's the best way. We want to talk to you. We want to see you. We want to shake your hand, show you what we've got, talk about your individual needs. You can always go to ymcacalhoun.org. We have a brand new website that we've just revamped with the folks over at WideNet. Beautiful website. It's got everything you'd ever want to know on it. But we want you to come in and see the facility, take a tour. Everybody that comes for a tour gets a 7-day guest pass, and we'd love to help you out regardless of your income level. And looking forward to getting people healthy.
Make sure you get somebody to show you around, because those lines aren't there on the floor anymore.
Right. We'll show you around.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. John and I will be back in just a second. We'll have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show and our crazy criminal of the week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, it's time for the Crime Stoppers segment of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. See if you can help us solve some of these property crimes that have occurred in the last few weeks. At approximately 4:30 in the morning on January the 8th, a vehicle was broken into at a residence on Alabama Highway 9 in Anniston. A .30 caliber handgun was taken. Between January 9th and 10th, the home on Brookview Drive was burglarized. Multiple electronics, including laptops, game systems, and a Philips television were taken, along with 4 guns. Between January 10th and 11th, the vehicle was broken into at a residence on Blackberry Lane in Alexandria. Various items were taken, including wrestling gear and wireless headphones. On January 14th at about 1:15 in the morning, a business was burglarized on Highway 204 in Wellington. A large amount of rolled currency was taken. Between January 15th and 16th, numerous vehicles were broken into in the area of Erickton Drive and Deer Path. A firearm was stolen from one of the vehicles. And between January 15th and 20th, the home on Piedmont-Jacksonville Highway in Piedmont was burglarized. 2 guns and ammunition were stolen. And between January 8th and 20th, the wheels and tires were stolen from a vehicle that was left at a church parking lot on DeArmonville Road. Between January 10th and 20th, a 300-pound anvil was stolen from a residence on Langford Lane. If you have any information about these cases, we want your information. We don't care about your name. Please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
John, you eat at Waffle House occasionally, don't you?
I do. I like Waffle House.
Have you ever had their barbecue sauce?
No, I'm not a big barbecue fan.
I like barbecue, but I've never had barbecue sauce at Waffle House. Apparently, it's really good.
Yeah.
At least according to Willie Drake, Willie Edward Drake. He is our crazy criminal of the week, and he must love the barbecue sauce at Waffle House because he got really upset when they told him they didn't have any. The waitress said he didn't have any, and so he said he would go blankety to jail over some barbecue sauce. And you know, they say be careful what you wish for.
Right, right.
You might get it. He did get to go to jail over that barbecue sauce.
I'm sure they had barbecue sauce at jail, too.
Is it good?
Does it matter?
Yeah, so it does not pay to abuse your waitress at Waffle House.
No, or anywhere.
No.
But,
Why would you get so upset over barbecue sauce?
Clearly, it's a mental health issue, and you know we can go down that path all day long.
It feels like at Dreamland. You know,
Could be.
I
Dreamland's-
understand.
yeah.
You know, I go to jail over some Dreamland.
Would
No
you?
offense, Waffle House. You make some great hash browns and some other good things. But
Next time you see Chris at Dreamland, remember, call 911.
yeah, I'm gonna have to try out some of that Waffle House barbecue sauce though, if it's that good. I gotta have me some.
Barbecue waffles.
All right, that's all the time that we have for this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.